Back on February 2nd, 2022, we got our first taste of the next class coming to Zenith VR, the Cyber Ninja. But fast forward to today and we've gotten no info on when it's coming. That is 7 months. So today we are imagining what I think the Cyber Ninja class will be, creating its weapons, abilities, ultimates, all the class has to offer. We'll be brainstorming unique weapon and ability ideas to visualize what the Cyber Ninja could look like, and when the class actually comes out, we can look back and see how well I predicted it. This is just a for fun concept because without updates, you kinda wanna make your own, so let's get into this. Let's start simple, the weapon. The weapon's actually one of 2 items that we have to base the class on, as the dev team already mentioned the weapon and another item I'll get to soon. The Cyber Ninja would wield a bow and arrow as their main weapon. I did think of adjusting it to a crossbow, as I do feel like that would fit an assassin more than a regular bow, but the concept abilities do work with both weapons, as you'll see soon. This bow would likely be nothing special, a standard drawstring with a deadly futuristic arrow powerful enough to punch an enemy right through its core, but the arrows where all the magic happens. The Blade Master has passive godstones based on direction strikes, and the Essence Mage has spells that you don't have to hold your weapons for. A key factor that brings these two together is how unique the godstones actually are. Both classes have vastly different ways to activate, so we made sure to keep that trend going for this new class concept. In place of the class's abilities are 3 pouches linked to you on a belt that are used to tip or coat your arrows in a substance that drastically changes the power of the arrow. Pouch 1 holds a poison substance, and when you attack an enemy with the poison-tipped arrow, the enemy will continue to take minor damage for an extra few seconds, allowing for some extra damage as you escape from a dangerous situation. Pouch 2 holds a freezing substance. We're probably set far enough in the future to make this possibility anyways. But when you attack an enemy with its tipped arrow, the enemy will freeze in place for a few seconds, and maybe it even shoots eye charts when the enemy unfreezes. Important for escaping low health situations where you're on the brink of getting knocked down. Pouch 3 holds an intriguing power. When the arrow is dipped, it becomes a gust arrow, and attacking an enemy with it shoves them back, quite far. Another mechanic attached to it is when the enemy is knocked into a wall, they'll take massive damage. I feel like that would be really hard to implement, but it would be a unique part of the kit. And there's one more godstone or ability slot to talk about, the trigger slot. I like the way the Essence Mage goes about this, a throwable damage dealer with a special effect. So I gave it a smoke screen. It's a ball that appears, just like the fireball, but when thrown onto the ground or an enemy, not only does it deal a little bit of damage, but create a cloud of smoke where when inside, and as long as you're inside it, all the enemies will avoid you. And just for fun, maybe give you a small speed boost. Before we get to the pinnacle of abilities for any class, let's go over an ability crucial to every class in Zenith, its movement ability. This is when we get into the second of the 2 items that the devs have already said. The dev team has already mentioned the Grapple as the movement ability, and I think it fits perfectly. So how would it work? What I think will be the most enjoyable is a timed ability, just like the other movement abilities, and once you press the button to activate it, it shoots a grapple out of your right wrist, just like Spider-Man. If it attaches to terrain, it'll act like Spider-Man's webs, letting you swing and carry momentum, flinging you quickly through the air. A good technique would end up being to fling yourself high up and use the height to glide and gain speed that way. As movement is its major selling point, we gotta make it special. Call it the new super gliding. Now for the big one, the class's ultimate. It obviously needs to stem from the arrow, so let's go through the ideas I had for the ultimate, because I couldn't just think of one. My first idea is a classic, the bomb arrow. An arrow that sticks to an enemy and after a few seconds explodes and deals massive damage to the target while doing pretty decent splash damage to enemies nearby. Number 2 is a simpler one, but one with just as much potential, the splitter arrow. One shot, the arrow splits into 3, maybe even 5. The tactic with this arrow is to be just far enough away that it splits right next to the enemy, dealing massive damage when you combine each of the arrows in flight. And number 3 is one that's way more out there, the power shot. A shot with a lengthy windup, but shoots a beam of fiery plasma straight ahead for a long distance, piercing through every enemy it touches, dealing massive damage. And there it is, that's what I think the Cyber Ninja class will be, or really what I want it to be. I hope soon we get more information on this class. Then we'll be able to look back at how accurate or inaccurate I am. What do you think the Cyber Ninja class will be? Let me know, and thanks for watching.